I'm going to call the Neary Building Committee Communications Subcommittee to order for Monday, April 1st. It is 8:21 p.m. All voting and ex officio members are present. So welcome, everyone. Roger and Denise, did you have a chance to look at the minutes for this meeting or no?
I did.
Denise?
I did. Yep.
Okay. Any comments or questions?
No.
Pretty quick turnaround given it was just on March 26th. So I'll move to accept the March 26th meeting minutes as presented. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All right. Roll call vote. Denise?
Aye.
Roger?
Aye.
And I am I as well. All right. Main reason for being here is reviewing and improving the release of the initial set of FAQs for posting on the website when it's ready. So just so everyone understands the process to date, what I did is I combed through the raw survey data and pulled out all questions. And then I color coded them for Greg, green being ready to answer and actually proposed an answer, yellow being need to work on an answer, but there's no urgency to posting something. And then red was more like a parking lot for later. And some of them are policy questions that I just think when the school administration team is ready, they can bring them to us with proposed answers, but nothing urgent. So Greg has taken a first pass through my draft responses to make sure he was comfortable with them. So this is an opportunity for the full subcommittee to offer any comments that you all have.
I have a couple of questions.
Go ahead.
So, I think when we talked about this the last time, Jason, you or we had sort of concluded that if a question was asked more than once, it would likely be a part of the frequently asked questions. If in some cases there were questions that weren't asked at all, but we felt were important to be on the list of frequently asked questions because they would be asked at some point, that was the second group. And if something was only asked once, that wasn't necessarily going to be on the list. Am I recalling correctly or stating that correctly, our discussion?
I think that's a fair representation of discussion, and I can tell you everything that's at least in front of us tonight has either been asked through the survey or through other avenues multiple times in the last month or two.
So question number 6, I don't understand how Neary can accommodate more grades as currently constructed. That's a question that was asked multiple times.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I just had a couple of them. Question number 8. Why aren't you looking to consolidate into Woodward and Finn and close Neary? So did you take that question to mean that that meant that the questioner was contemplating expanding Woodward, or just consolidating into meant leaving Woodward the same size and doing something with Finn?
I took it to mean,
Or grade.
here's how I interpret it and welcome others, but I took it to mean I don't want a building project. Why can't we just consolidate into the two existing schools?
Okay. Without really giving a lot of thought to how that would be consolidated. All right, fair enough. I might have had one more. I don't think I had anything, any others. Let's see. Why not expand Woodward to be PK to 3? Okay, so we know the answer to that. So in the previous meeting, you mentioned that we park some questions. So we're really talking about holding some of these back until we need them, if you will.
Yes,
No,
so
not some of these,
all,
not some of these, but
yes,
some that
correct,
aren't on this list, right?
correct.
Okay.
There are a lot of, I'll call it policy-related questions that we would just be saying we don't know yet because we don't know what we're doing. And so we focused on the project itself, but there, obviously, once the project becomes clearer, it then will, there will be some policy things that obviously the superintendent, the team, and you as school committee will have to probably embark on.
All right, I'm leaning forward, not to scare everyone, but because I have these questions down on my keyboard and I have to get close to read them. That's all I had.
Denise, Stephanie, or Kathleen? Oh, Greg, go ahead, jump in, Greg.
Another good document that we can lean on to for answering questions is the educational program, a document that we're creating. I think we can pull a lot of the answers to questions from that once it's finalized.
And Jim, is that, to piggyback on what Greg says, that usually, obviously the public document, it's gonna go to the MSBA, they're gonna talk about, is that something that usually gets posted on a committee website too? For them to see how much, they didn't come out of thin air, right? There's obviously a ton of thought that went into it.
Yeah, 100%. It's a great document unless the district doesn't want to post it. But typically, yeah, it's a great document to have so folks understand exactly the purpose of the project. It really gives good meaning to what the project is.
Okay, Denise?
The question about the cars, I'm surprised there isn't a question about the egress. And getting in and out of that building, the parking lot, just like my nemesis of the high school parking lot, which is tough at dismissal. Of course, you have kids driving there too, that makes it more difficult, but having more parents picking up kids, getting in and out of that building, and that one way in and that one way out, basically, other than the back road that goes through Trotter and out onto Deerfield, which is really a lot smaller. I'm surprised that wasn't a question. Do you think that parking lot question took that into consideration? Should we talk about that or not?
I think reading between the lines, it is a question. I just don't know that it's a question that could accurately be answered now. Because if we go with if we go with 2-grade configuration, there's actually potentially less cars on that site if the school administration really does move out, right? At least for school hours, right?
Right.
Now, not that the school administration has a ton of vehicular traffic in there, but it's something, right? But obviously, if we go to a 3 or a 4-grade configuration, then I think that would probably be the reason why I think Katie mentioned they have traffic counters there right now, right? To understand the vehicular traffic under current terms.
Right.
So if we did add that question, I think the answer would be we don't know, right? But you're obviously not gonna have a new access road into there or anything like that. So it's just gonna be, what are the traffic flows and stuff like that. And I will tell you that is certainly something the planning board will look at if this project gets to them.
Yeah, because we'll have more buses if we increase the number of students there. You're going to have more buses as well going in and out of there. Wouldn't we?
I don't know, Greg. Can you comment on that? I don't.
Yeah, interestingly enough, we would not have more buses.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Go ahead, Greg. All right. You're good then.
Made my comment, so thank you.
Okay. All right, Denise, you're good.
I'm good.
Stephanie or Kathleen, do you have any comments?
Good.
Okay. Then I will make a motion to accept the initial draft of frequently asked questions as of April 1st, 2024, as presented tonight.
Second.
So moved.
All right. So I made a motion, so I'll take Roger's second. Any discussion?
Just a question, so you said initially that Greg had kind of reviewed your draft, but this is the result of Greg's review, right? Also, this is the collaboration, if you will, or not?
That was my understanding, but Greg, I'll let you, he seemed nodding his head.
Yes, so
Okay,
I did review those this afternoon.
all right.
Okay. Motion's been seconded. Let's do a roll call. Denise,
Aye.
Roger,
Aye.
and I am I as well.
And if, sorry, just on the FAQs, and we can help draft it. I don't think it's critical, obviously, getting this information up there, but having an FAQ on who the MSBA is, that it's going to be they're partially funding the project. I think is important, we've found, because they drive so much of the process, obviously, whenever we're reviewing it, so that folks can go and see that, a lot of folks don't know who the MSBA are. So, yeah, getting that up as an FAQ, in the next, month, I think would be important. Just again, because they're an important partner, and also they drive so much of the process, so folks can start to see, why we're doing what we're doing and how we're doing it.
Good, Roger.
I think that's a great comment. Is there any reason we'd have to wait? Or could we simply, amend or have a second motion or amend saying that, an additional comment will be, an additional, frequently asked question related to the MSBA and their funding will be added by the superintendent or something, so we don't have to either have another meeting to look at that wording.
Yeah, so I'll make a motion, and I completely agree. I'll make a motion that we add, pursuant to the OPM's recommendation, that we add a frequently asked question related to who is the MSBA in their role in this process, with a link to their website as well, and to authorize the superintendent and the chair to agree on the language.
Second.
Any further discussion? Denise?
No, I thought that was a great idea.
Thanks, Jim.
Hmm.
All
Sorry,
right,
I should jumped in during discussion in the last vote, but
it's okay. We just wanted to have two motions on this.
Sorry.
So, all right, Denise,
Aye.
Roger,
Aye.
and I'm I as well. Okay. That really brings us to the end of our agenda. I'm just making my agenda froze on me. Is there any public comment? I don't see any public. And then we'll be in touch on next meeting. I don't foresee a need in the near term. And then obviously, I think once we get some feedback on the website, that will probably be our next need to meet. All right, I'll make a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, roll call vote. Denise? You're on mute, Denise.
Aye.
Roger?
Aye.
And I am I. Thanks everyone for fitting this in, and have a good evening.
Good night.
Jason?